Alright, it's time for some real talk about the Shure SM7B. You see this microphone everywhere, probably in every video podcast. All of the top podcasts use this microphone, and it's probably one of the most lust-worthy mics of any podcaster. Everyone wants this microphone. But I'm going to tell you a secret. I think this is the most overhyped microphone you can get. I said what I said. When I'm recording a podcast here in the studio, I use the Earthworks Ethos. When I'm traveling and I need to record in a hotel room, I use the Shure MV7. There's literally never a case where I take this thing out of the drawer, unless I'm making a video about this, telling you can stop lusting after this microphone. Obviously, there are reasons why podcasters choose this microphone, and I'll get to why in a second. But I want to give you 4 reasons why I think this microphone is overhyped. And if you're just starting out or looking to upgrade your setup, this microphone is actually going to make it harder on you to get your setup just right than many other choices that I'll name in a second. All right, number 1, this microphone, it's not cheap. It is $400. It's not the most expensive microphone you can buy. There are microphones in the thousands of dollars, but when comparing it to many other microphones out there, which we have our top USB microphones video, you can check that out above, you can get a great microphone for about $70. No, those $60 to $70 microphones don't sound like this. If you want to know what this sounds like, here's the audio from the Shure SM7B. I'll talk into it for a while so you can hear the difference. But $400 isn't even the reason why it's not cheap. Reason number 2, you need some powerful audio gear to actually run this microphone. If you try to use this microphone with a Scarlett 2i2 or any audio interface under $500, you're not going to be able to get a good amount of volume from this. You're going to need either an additional piece of gear like a FetHead or a Cloudlifter, which is about $100 to $150 on top of this microphone, or you need a powerful interface like the Rodecaster Pro II or the Sound Devices MixPre 3 or some of the Apollo series. If you just really want to use this microphone, I'll put links to some of that audio gear in the video description that can run this microphone without those additional Cloudlifters and FetHeads. But even some of those interfaces, like the Rodecaster Pro II, which is running this microphone right now, you still don't get a lot of volume. And if you try to crank that volume with this microphone, you're going to hear like a buzz or what's known as some of that noise from trying to crank the gain. Here's what it sounds like. Man, that's not great. I just don't want that buzz in any of my recordings and even have to think about it when I'm trying to drive the volume up on this microphone. And number 3, I don't like this little cable. I know some people think it looks cool. It allows the XLR cable to go into the bottom of the microphone, but I don't like it. That's also one of the reasons why I don't travel with this microphone. If I try to put this in a backpack or bag and it goes under an airplane seat, I don't know what this cable is going to do. Like, it's not super sturdy. Again, there are many other options of great microphones that don't have this little external cable. And reason number 4, these dip switches on the back of the microphone, you can use these for a low cut and a presence boost or kind of that mid-high boost. I go through this in an entire video where I compare this microphone to the Earthworks Ethos. I'll link that video above or in the description. But those dip switches are just something else to be finicky about with this microphone. And I think that's just the story of this microphone. It's finicky. You have to be finicky with your audio gear and getting it just right so you get enough gain and volume from it. You got finicky dip switches, finicky cable. It just feels like you have to finick with it too much. Is finnick a word? I'm gonna have to look that up. I'll put it on screen. Now, are there any pros to this microphone? There are, and that's why you do see it in a lot of video podcasts especially. Number 1, a lot of people think it looks cool. It is a unique looking microphone. The history is this is what Michael Jackson used to record Thriller, and so it could look cool on camera. The Shure SM7B also has a very good internal shock mount. I've been moving this microphone around the whole time, and whenever I switch to this audio, you don't really hear any of those movements, and it's really good at also those plosives and mouth sounds. You don't hear a lot of those either. You can even get pretty close talking to this, which you see in a lot of video podcasts, and it still sounds good. So it is pretty forgiving for how much you're moving it around and how close you get to the microphone. If you have those who are not familiar with podcasting or new to it and they get really close or they try to move it around a lot, this microphone will help mitigate a lot of those audio errors. And it is very good at rejecting room noise or other people in the room. So if you have a video podcast with 4 or 5 or more people in the same room, this microphone does a very good job of rejecting sound on this side of the mic, namely the other speakers, and that prevents mic bleed. I actually have a whole video explaining mic bleed, how to prevent it in recording, and if it's in your recording, how to get rid of it in post-production. You can check that video out above or in the description. So if I burst your bubble because you've been wanting this microphone for years and now you're not sure what to do, let me give you a couple suggestions. Number 1, if you want this microphone and you have lots of money to just blow on audio gear, go for it. Get a Shure SM7B, get an Apollo Twin or even an Apogee Symphony, and those powerful audio interfaces can run it with pretty clean audio, and you can be like one of the cool kids. But if you don't want to spend all that money, but you still want to sound really good, I have 2 recommendations for you. Number 1, the Earthworks Ethos that I mentioned before, and we have the whole video comparing to the SM7B, sounds really good. It is also $400, so it's the same starting price as the SM7B, but the Earthworks Ethos can be run by pretty much any audio interface. It's a condenser microphone, which means it has a lot more gain or volume inherently built in, there's no finicky dip switches, and you can get a 90-degree XLR cable like this, and it still looks pretty clean on camera. So if you want a professional sounding microphone, but not have to be so finicky with dip switches and audio gear, get the Earthworks Ethos. And choice number 3, just to let you know, I actually really like what Shure makes. The Shure MV7 is probably one of the best value microphones you can get. Not only is the Shure MV7 cheaper at $250, but that version has an XLR and USB port. So you can actually connect this to your computer without an audio interface via a USB cable, and it sounds great. Then when you upgrade your setup or you want multiple microphones and an audio interface, you can use the XLR connection on the back of this microphone. Not only that, but it sounds really, really good and close to what the Shure SM7B sounds like. It is really a great value, and we included it in our best USB microphones, which again, that video is in the description. And if you're just starting out and you really need a budget-conscious microphone, I highly recommend the Audio-Technica ATR 2100X. It's about $70. It has a USB and XLR connection. It's a dynamic microphone, and again, sounds great. So I hope after this video, if you've been lusting after the Shure SM7B, you feel free to get a different microphone. Don't feel like you need this microphone to be a professional podcaster or have a cool video podcast. There's lots of great options out there, and frankly, this one's a little overhyped. All these microphones work amazingly well with Riverside. It's your online studio to record high-quality video and audio content with anyone, anywhere. If you'd like to learn more about the difference between condenser and dynamic microphones from our 2-minute tutorials, check out this playlist above or in the video description. And if you have any questions about microphones and other audio gear, drop a comment below this video. We'd love to answer them in a future upload on this channel. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time.